Hello everyone, and welcome to Virtual Rambling. This is a vlog series where I take a gentle stroll through a video game world. And today we are playing a game called Cradle. Now we are starting our walk here in this Mongolian yurt with an android in fairly heavy disrepair there on the table. It would help if I knew what the buttons did. Cradle is I guess a first-person adventure game that takes place on a Mongolian steppe. It's set in the future, a fairly depressing kind of future where, guess what, a virus threatens to wipe out humanity. This virus in question seems to propagate itself based on, as far as I understand it from the story, some sort of emotion or something like that. So I think, I don't know, maybe the more intense an emotion or negative an emotion, the more powerful the virus gets, or something like that. I'm not sure. The story is really interesting and quirky. It's really quite a unique game. I don't think I've ever played something quite like Cradle before. And I've played a good amount of adventure games and a good amount of first-person games, but Cradle is something a bit special. That tolling you can hear in the distance. You see those circular structures in the distance there. It's like some sort of tram network, and I believe a tram has arrived and is trying to summon my character towards it. So looking back from where we've just come from, you can see the yurt on the left. In the centre there's quite a large dome. We'll talk about that in a minute. And just to the right of the dome, behind the trees, you can maybe just make out the tram. So Cradle, gameplay-wise, has you essentially trying to... it's always amnesia, isn't it? Always essentially trying to recover your memories. You're trying to piece together who you are, and why you're here, and why that android is there in your workshop, and she needs help, trying to figure out who she is as well. It's all quite interesting. It's a good but weird mystery. So you keep making journeys out of your yurt into the weird dome over there, to basically collect pieces of the android, to reassemble the android, and in doing so you help her kind of become more functional, more whole, and remember more. It's interesting. Something I really like about this game is it's kind of blended quite realistic, realistic effects, like the kind of hyper detail on these tram networks, and you know, the detail put into the grass and the other environmental structures. But then you've got this sky that looks like it's been painted almost, and it's so curious. And you know, as the story progresses, you know, the time of day changes and the skybox changes, and it's always another like amazing painting of a sky. And look, this guy's got some sort of like constellation image overlaid with it too. Sorry, I don't mean to look up and disorientate you, but look how fantastic that is. And you know, it's got me wondering, due to the like imperfect sky, is this like a simulation? Is this real? What's kind of going on? So, might have a look through the dome area. It's called Gerbera Garden. I don't know much about plants, but I think gerbera is a type of flower. You can see satellites moving through the sky. Obviously you can tell this place is in a fairly bad state of disrepair. It's like it's got that kind of dead theme park feel to it. It's got like this wonderful kind of man-made flower beds leading from the tram stop to the front door. I like the trees in this game as well, even though they're kind of Spartan, they're kind of stylized, kind of angular in some parts, and I don't know, they look quite kind of realistic, I guess. Here's the busted down gate. One of my early misdemeanors in this game. Oop. Very smooth. Let's go have a look around Gerbera Garden. That weird sound you can hear is like this kind of weird, I don't know how to explain it. It looks like kind of floating black smoke that kind of follows you around. And I think it's like supposed to be the kind of virus anthropomorphized, as it were. The game just juddered a little bit there. Yeah, because if they touch you, you kind of black out for a bit or something. Now, the weirdest thing about Cradle is this place. As you might imagine, it's one of the game's main and only locales. I won't go too much into the story for those who want to play this game, but it's kind of a weird theme park / treatment facility. And each one of these kind of... it's got a series of like lifts and slides, and they lead up to these kind of rooms up above. They're kind of VR rooms, and each time you essentially complete a game in them, you're awarded another piece of the android. And the weirdest thing about this game is that it turns from this wonderful first-person adventure game to like a weird kind of voxelized block-throwing action level. I don't really know how to explain it, but essentially... It's like some sort of Wicked Witch style attraction. Again, won't go into why it's a witch. And yeah, each lift leads you to a different game. You have to play through the game, you get a bit. And it's just the weirdest kind of transition in gameplay styles from this like calm, non-threatening first-person like adventure to yeah, this kind of high-octane block-throwing game, as it were. It's so kind of curious, so interesting, really kind of intriguing mix of gameplay design styles. You can go down the slide, which I also like. Whee! I love that. It would be remiss of me to come to this place and not do that. I love the kind of weird, dilapidated, broken Art Nouveau style of this place. Like this, you know, it's clearly designed. Is it Art Nouveau? Maybe it's more Deco. I'm not sure. I'm no expert. But it's got these kind of huge coloured sails, these weird kind of natural-esque motifs. You know, it's just a really interesting, weird place to go with such an interesting and weird story. Ah, jeez. I might try and walk around these guys. He is not giving up, is he? Yeah. Yeah, that one chased me down without remorse, didn't he? Crikey. It's kind of hard to do, it's kind of hard to do these virtual rambles without some sort of gaminess getting in the way, and I appreciate I'm using games as something they're not typically designed for, and that is just a chill walk in an environment without any disruptions, any interruptions, in a game, more than likely it's not going to happen, is it? You know, you walk through a city in Assassin's Creed, you get accosted by guards. You walk through the forests in Skyrim, you get attacked by wolves. You walk through this game, you get attacked by virus blob things. And I don't know if you might not have seen it, but I did a video for Dreamfall chapters, and in that, for the first few minutes, your boyfriend keeps calling you on the phone, like pestering you to pick up food for him. It's like, just leave me alone, dude. I just want to walk. Man, yeah. I could probably walk through this game for a very long time. It's a big, big, big area. Huge. Considering the game takes place like in this dome and the yurt and in some of the surrounding countryside where you're kind of looking for hidden things in the environment. This game world is like, it's really huge, considering just kind of what's used, I guess. And it's got me thinking, you know, someone had to go through here, place these rocks, unless they use some sort of automation or procedural gen, like say Speed Tree or something, which will place all the rocks and trees for you. Or, you know, they had to paint the grass or the landscape or whatever, model the surrounding hills. And it's, I don't know, it's kind of cool that there is so much environment to wander through, when, you know, they didn't necessarily need to do that much kind of attention to detail. They didn't need to model this much environment, but to kind of maintain the illusion that you're in this Mongolian steppe in the middle of nowhere with naught but you and a yurt, a tram and a dome and some bloody virus monsters to keep you company. They've kind of worked hard to create this illusion of isolation, of being in the middle of nowhere, and, you know, because you're isolated, because there's no one else but you, a tram driver, and an android to kind of talk with, it makes the game make more sense, as it were. You know, you're alone, and just look how far the tram line goes off into the distance. It's, you know, miles away to anything resembling civilization. Oh man, look at that moon. And again, I don't know if like the day and night cycle is changing as I'm just walking around. Maybe it's slightly lighter than it was when I first started. not sure. Just looking for the way out. Oh, there it is. I'm debating my choice to record this walk at a stage in the story where the tram driver is trying his very, very, very best to get your attention. Maybe having the tolling bells in the distance is going to be irritating for some people. Or maybe it's kind of a nice atmospheric oddity. I don't know. I love the kind of mosaics on everything. Like, I don't know, have you ever been to like a ridiculously posh garden centre or something? I once went to this like crazy done up like flower garden in or near Kobe in Japan. And this place kind of reminds me of that. It was just preened to an inch of its life. Everything was kind of super perfect and just lovingly displayed. And this place kind of reminds me of one of those. I love that when, I don't know, a computer game indirectly reflects somewhere you've been before to such a degree that it almost makes you nostalgic. And I think that's why I'm doing these walks, is that games and virtual spaces in of themselves, they make you reflect on the things you've experienced, the places you've been. Hey dude, nice hat. He's gonna start tolling that bell as soon as I walk away, isn't he? See how long it takes him. Oh, he can only go 90 miles per hour. That's nothing. Look how much land he's got to cover. I'm going to go back to the annoy the tram driver even more. So yeah, I think I don't know, it's kind of telling of how well crafted a game is if it evokes nostalgia in you, either for the game itself or for somewhere you've been at another time in your life, or even for other games. virtual worlds tend to kind of imprint on us pretty heavily. You know, how often do you find yourselves yearning to just explore a certain game environment once more? I often yearn for exploring Hong Kong in Deus Ex, just because it's such a kind of lively but nostalgic place. You know, it's from my youth. Or the city of Vivek in Morrowind. So big, so crazy, so much detail. It's insane. Guy likes his Red Sox. Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna call it there. This has been Oryx, and this has been Virtual Rambling. Thank you so much for joining me on another walk. Night night.